Hello, my name is Alan, and this afternoon in my time, I am facilitating the first of 4 sessions of Against the Dark Conspiracy. This is my own supernatural thriller game, recently kickstarted successfully, and this is the first playtest of Against the Demonic Conspiracy, one of the stretch goals, in which we are replacing the usual, inverted commas, vampire conspiracy with a demonic conspiracy. And my thanks to the players for signing up for the session on that basis. This is a game which is, I suppose I would describe it as a game about burned spies and other disreputable characters, people who have been thrown out or left or discredited by the organization's criminal or espionage that they previously worked for or with. But they have one thing in common, and that is that they believe that demons exist. Unsurprisingly, most people think they're nuts. But they have found a group of people who are other believers. That is the team that we're looking at today. Now, the rest of the team, they know, they have history, maybe from their criminal or espionage backgrounds. We'll find out about that in play. But these are people they trust, perhaps the only people they genuinely trust with their belief in this demonic conspiracy. And certainly they would be laughed at if they went public with this, because who would believe them? The way that we will set up this game to start with is that a few days ago, one of you will try to work out who's the most logical person, will have received an encrypted message by some secure messaging dark web community that you belong to, that will set the ball rolling for this first session. And then we'll play to find out across the series anything we can about this demonic conspiracy. I would want to stress that the tone of this game is deliberately dark. It is dark not just in the sense of the supernatural and foes that you will encounter and their venal human pawns, but also it's dark in the sense of some of the stuff that characters in this game need to do to stop cracking. Because my job as the facilitator really is to put the characters under strain. I hope not to put the players under strain, but I hope to put the characters under strain, to stress them, to nudge them towards cracking, and either dying or perhaps becoming a member of the conspiracy. The way that characters can reduce the stress they experience is by doing pretty unpleasant things. And often those unpleasant things have consequences. Consequences for themselves, the operation they're on, the people they love, because there aren't many of those left, or other player characters. And so we will be making sure that we play with some safety tools, okay? And as it says under subject matter there, content warning, horror, gore, betrayal, and subterfuge. Yeah, it's that kind of game. I would ask you then, folks, to have a look at the Lines and Veils tab. We're playing with some lines and veils. My starting lines are sexual assault and violence, harm to children, homophobia, racism, sexism, infection or plague is a major plot point. There's enough of that about, and peril to pregnant women or infants. Those lines exist. It means that won't crop up in the fiction. I've also put lines on vampires and vampire lore, because that's a different version of the game, and a line on dark fae and dark fae lore, because that's a third version of the game. So we are working with demons and demonic lore. I've put veils on consensual sex, because I'm old and British. It can crop up, but we will draw a discrete veil across. We will not see that on screen. Also domestic violence and torture, either by the characters or by NPCs. All of that could be in the fiction, but we will draw a veil. You'll notice, the players will notice that I have ticked some things as things to be interested in. And I put them there because that's the kind of game you've signed up for. Now, tell me now, if those things are going to freak you out. And tell me that by just ticking the veil or line, because we are going to deal with horror and gore. Betrayal, as I said, some of the mechanisms for reducing stress can put other characters on the spot. Other characters, not other players, other characters on the spot. And so betrayal, conflict, violent conflict between PCs, romance with PCs and NPCs, including sex, drug and alcohol abuse, these are all on the table in this game. So, you know, if you are uncomfortable with those, I would ask you now to anonymously tick a box that lines or veils them. And I noticed someone has put harm to animals. There's always a chance when you're dealing with demonic conspiracies that there may be some animal sacrifice. I will make sure that is veiled. And likewise, anything that looks at all like suicide or self-harm, even conceivably. Feel free to add anything else to the bottom of that list where it says write in, and feel free to select one of those boxes. The ask first column I put there because some people like it. I will do my best to ask first before I introduce something. Okay, so that's the nature of the game we're playing. I will finish by saying that my pronouns are he, him, and now I will ask the players just one at a time to introduce themselves. Let's go from right to left, just to mix things up. Let's go from right to left and start with Michael. Say hello, tell me your pronouns, and tell us about Kate Hayes.
Hello, I'm Michael, he, him, and I will be playing Kate Hayes, she, her, who is a, now disgraced CIA officer.
Thank you very much. Moving along, Sean, say hello, tell me your pronouns, and tell me about Tony McGrath.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean, and I'll be playing Tony, and he is a kind of a eccentric, know-it-all, well, thinks he knows it all, crazy guy who makes bombs and other technical items to break into places and do shady stuff. So.
And Sean, just for clarity, would you remind me of your pronouns, please?
He, him, sorry.
Moving along, Blake, say hello, tell us about your pronouns, and tell us about Bodie and his pronouns. Well, I see his pronouns.
G'day, this is Blake. I'm he, him, playing Bodie, who's he, him, formerly MI5 Counterintelligence Scalp Hunter. He's very mad, very angry. He's got some issues to deal with.
Well, and in fairness, Blake has stepped in at the last moment, so Blake is only here for one session. So we are going to try to make Bodie's session as memorable as we can. And finally, Greg, say hello and tell us about Jocko and both your and their pronouns.
Yeah, Jocko, he, him. I'm Greg, he, him. And yeah, Jocko is a U.S. Navy SEAL. And even though he has been disciplined by them and, ejected from the organization, he's still a believer. He wants to, he wants to defend the American way, and he's taken one for the team.
So the SEALs may not value him anymore, but he still values the flag. Yeah, I love that. Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's just dig into the, I've just remembered I didn't say that this game, like most of my online games, was organized through the Gauntlet RPG community's monthly calendar. If you don't know about the Gauntlet, search Gauntlet-RPG and you'll find all about us. It's a great online community and we would welcome you to come and try to play with us.
Oh, one question. Do we fill in the manifests?
No, I would wait until your stress goes up, because it may not. It may not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yeah, we've got pictures of you. I'm seeing Jocko, a hyper-aggressive professional, slightly short on average, built like a tank. Yeah, that's a great picture, Greg. I like that choice. I'm looking along to Bodie, tall, athletic, Anglo male, nice suit, short hair, cheeky glint in his eyes. If anyone remembers the professionals from my 70s heyday, then you're looking at Bodie of Bodie and Doyle fame. Then Tony, eccentrically dressed. Yeah, I noticed. He looks like, can I just ask Sean about Tony? He looks like he's dressed straight out of about 1900. Is that deliberate or?
Precisely, that he likes to keep an old style to him.
So that nobody's going to notice him in a crowd then.
No, definitely not.
Okay, okay. And then Kate, 5'10", green eyes, brown hair, though it changes often, yeah, because she used to be, she's good at disguise and stuff, isn't she? Yes. And, oh, and fashionably dressed. Cool, I like that. Okay. So let me go back round and I want to know, each of you has someone that still matters to you. The kind of life you've led means that your personal connections, there are not many of them. Apart from the other 3 people in this team, there are very few people that care about you or that you care about at all. But there is one person, your anchor. This is the person that still matters to you. Whether you matter to them, we might discover in play. But at this point, they are the person that you desperately need to protect from the conspiracy, right? This is the one person you don't want to lose. You might sacrifice one of the team, but your anchor, nobody's going to step in and replace them. So let's start with Kate. Tell me about Dr. Jake Foley.
Yeah, Dr. Jake Foley is my husband. We've been married for about 3 years. He's a biologist and works in a biotech lab.
Okay. And did that marriage start before or after you left the CIA?
Well, it started before.
Okay.
I haven't told him that I've left the CIA.
Oh, well, I was going to ask if he knew you were in the CIA, but so he doesn't know you're in the. Does he know you're in the CIA and you have not told him you've left it?
Yes.
Okay. 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 So, right. So he thinks you're still serving God and the country. Okay. Right. Okay. That's interesting. We may find out some more about Jake in play. Moving along to Tony. Tony, your anchor is. Tell me about Giovanni.
Yeah, I met Giovanni in the Camorra, and we have been partners for 5 years now. He's still in the Camorra though, and I'm very that's a bit of tension now.
Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me
Okay.
too much. You can fill in more detail. Because I notice you're while you are Irish, you're in the Camorra. I didn't know that the Camorra had Irish connections.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Came over from Ireland. It's an unusual circumstance, but
Okay, we may unpick some of that in play. And then moving along to Bodie, tell me about George Cowley.
Well, George Cowley's my boss. As part of a small team, and yeah, when one of my workmates was killed as a diversion, yeah, my boss sort of found the bottle, and I found lots of anger, and we're both sort of still dealing with the wreckage of what happened. So he was always like a father mentor to me.
So when you say boss, you mean he was your boss when you were part of MI5? Okay, and has he also left 5?
Yeah.
Okay, and what? Spends a lot of time. Well, no, again, I won't ask you that question now. I shall try to restrain asking too many questions at this point. I'm interested in these people, but let's find out what they're in play. And finally, let's come across to Jocko. Jocko only has one name, like Bodie. Jocko, tell me about Edith.
Yeah, so mom runs the farm. She's on her own after dad passed away, and he's been disgraced. Maybe his name was in the news if you search for it. But she still accepts him. And I think his last words were like, "Mom, I'm gonna set this right," And she
Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me too much.
Yeah.
Scribble down those interesting bits of backstory and then parcel them out to us in return for mechanical benefit.
Sounds good.
Let me stick with Jocko for a moment, because the next question I want to ask each of you is why you chose to confront the conspiracy. Because who in their right mind would?
Mm-hmm.
So you have chosen faith. You believe in something that is anathema to them. What do you believe in, and what would it take for you to betray that belief? Jocko?
Okay. So I think I didn't really focus on the anathema to them, but he believes in the USA. He has a strong faith in, we'll say traditional Western culture, right? His faith in the Christian God, the U.S. Navy SEALs. Even though he got ejected from them, he still so I would say what he okay, so as far as what's an anathema to them, I would say I guess it's that organization they're trying to take down, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I
they're
essentially
a
said.
demonic conspiracy.
He
God
wants
is
the
not
status.
high on their Christmas list.
Yeah, he wants the status quo, or what he sees as the status quo.
So he sees a threat to the Christian underpinning of not just America, but of the Navy.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay. What would it take you to betray those beliefs, Jocko?
I
tell you what, think about that. I'm going to come back to you with it. I want you to
Sounds
be
good.
thinking about it. Let's move along. Bodie, you've chose to correct the conspiracy, it appears, because of a loss. They took someone from you. Who was it?
His name was Doyle. He was one of my workmates, and he was as much my best mate as my work comrade. He was kind of the moral compass to my playboy rascal ways, and that's kind of gone out the window since they killed him.
Okay. So just to be clear, you're absolutely certain he's dead?
Oh, yeah.
You've seen the body?
I saw him get shot in a way that no one could live through.
Okay, so you're confident he's dead?
Yes.
Okay. There was a funeral and everything?
Yes.
Okay. I will come back to ask you what you would do to get them back.
You mean to get Doyle back alive, or
yes.
do you mean?
I mean get Doyle back. It's a demonic conspiracy. Surely everything's on the table. Think about it. I'll come back to you. Let's move along to Tony. You've chosen a thirst for knowledge. You are fascinated by the allure of the blasphemous unknown. That's a cracker. What would you give up to know more about them? This is a very simple one-part question. What would you give up, Tony?
I would give up my sanity, my normal life, to delve into the nonsense that's going on and become with a more frantic obsession towards the unknown.
Can I just check? Only your sanity, not your soul?
Oh, it could go with it for sure.
Okay. Because frankly, demons, much more interested in your soul.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, let's come along to Kate. You've chosen humanity as the reason. When you found out what they were doing, you had to confront them. And the question is, again, it's a simple one-stop question, this: what would you sacrifice to stop them?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything. I've already kind of put myself at risk with being disgraced, as a former operative who's now kind of going around unsupervised. Certainly other people could be coming after me. But beyond that, maybe there could come a time when I can't go back to the US, or, lose my home, my family, my life.
Let me be absolutely explicit here. When you say lose family, do you mean lose a connection with family, or do you mean lose with extreme prejudice?
Can be either.
Would you be just flesh out what you've put in there, so I know that your husband is on the line if the worst comes to the worst?
Oh, he's definitely on the line.
Okay, fine. Well, be a bit explicit about that, because I like to know. Let me go back around to ask the second part of the question for Jocko then. What would it take for you to betray your belief in God and country?
He would have to. So I would say they've turned the back on them, or these organizations have turned the back on Jocko, and he sees this as taking one for the team. He would have to see that these organizations were deeply corrupted.
Okay.
So this is more than someone he doesn't like getting elected and making bad policy. He would have to see that the maybe even history is all a sham.
Okay, so if Jocko found out the conspiracy had wormed its way into the fundamental underpinnings of the country,
Yeah.
that would be bad news.
Was George Washington a demon? Like that would, you know.
How else did he cross the Potomac?
That's true. Yeah.
Bodie, what would you do to get him back if you miss him that much? What would you sacrifice to be able to have him back with you?
Doesn't have a lot. I don't know, maybe his patriotism, so like the monarchy.
So he would sacrifice the royal family on a demonic altar to get Doyle back. Yeah? I mean, if you're
What
prepared
needs to be done.
if you're prepared to put the Queen on an altar, then just about everyone from the Archbishop of Canterbury down is up for grabs.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Okay. We've now reached a bit called Intel. Intel is a resource that you can earn in play and spend to find stuff out. Okay. We won't worry about any more than that now. We'll come to Intel when it matters. And there are two other questions at the bottom of this character sheet about your relationships in the team. I'm not going to ask those until we've had a chance to see the team in action. And then you have a chance to make some informed choices about, who you care most about, least about. Okay. So that is the team. I now would like to move on to the briefing for the operation we're going to play through today. So check out Operation 1. I'm going to set you a lead, okay? Let's see. Let me think. Who is most likely to have got this lead? I'm going to put you in London in the first instance. And I'm going to say that, Kate, I think you've had a message from someone through this dark web, these secure social media groups that you're part of, each of you is part of, to keep track of what's happening to the conspiracy. And Kate, I'm going to suggest that a former Russian contact of yours has got in touch. Her name is Natalia, and Natalia has got in touch because Natalia is worried about something that's going on. She's still working for the opposition, i.e. for Russian intelligence. And they've had one of their people go missing. The embassy has made a report to the British police. But with the best will in the world, that investigation doesn't seem to be going anywhere quickly. And so what she sent you is a small data package of information, okay? And so the lead I am feeding you is something mysterious has happened, investigate it and determine conspiracy involvement. Now, Natalia may simply be thinking you can investigate this missing person. But you, of course, look at this through a conspiracy lens. So the objective today is to see what the operation around this lead is. Okay? So let me begin by working out where the four of you are. Let's do the question first, then we'll work out where you are. So I'm going to start on the far right of the character keeper. I'm going to go to Kate first and ask you to make a selection from the drop-down list of who or what is the focus of the operation.
And am I adding more details
Not at this point. You're just making it a selection for the broad description.
Just make a choice. Okay, let's go with blood organs and bodies. since we have someone.
Oh, let's not mess
missing.
about. Let's go for blood, organs, and bodies is what this operation will focus on. Okay. Moving along to Tony. Sorry, I don't know why that's gone off. Moving along to Tony. Can you, the next one is where? Where is the focus of this op? And there isn't a drop down for this because there are too many options, frankly.
Okay.
So if you just scroll right on this tab, you'll find a large table. And my suggestion for this is that Tony should make a selection based on the kind of location, entertainment, events, blah, 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 and then makes a selection from across that. Otherwise, that's just 72 chances.
Yeah.
So what kind of location do you want?
An event.
An event. Okay. So, and then would you like to select which of those events or which kind of event you want this to be part of?
I think a carnival circus.
That's creepy. We have bodies, bloods, and a circus.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you just overtype when it says see table to far right? Would you just put carnival circus in there, please?
Sure.
And then let me come along to Bodie. What's going on? What's the possible motive behind the conspiracy's involvement in this? And again, there's a drop-down list with some very broad descriptions of motive.
Okay. I'm just trying to sort of marry this up with what's above it. Hang on, a reward?
Could somebody be rewarding somebody else with blood, organs, or body?
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was maybe because it was a Russian person that told us about it. There's like a Russian oligarch that wants someone founded, someone important to them.
Not necessarily, because we've not placed that person at the center of the op. I think that we are going to find out fairly swiftly that person has been rendered down because we've put body, blood, organs, and body at the center of this. Yeah, so a reward for who, what, we'll worry about that in a bit. And finally, let me come to Jocko. It's appropriate this should be Jocko. What is the most likely, though probably not the only demonic conspiracy threat? Now, these are ordered from top to bottom in terms of level of challenge. So at the top, you've got criminal goons who are relatively low challenge. And at the top, you have greater demons. Now, I suppose my advice is you may not want to get mixed up with greater demons in session one.
I guess for me, I like the more, Lovecraft kind of focus on it. So I was thinking either maybe start with conspiracy, pseudoscience, occultists. Is that okay? Sounds good.
Yeah. And we'll add some detail to them in a bit. Okay. So that's the broad outline. Now, I know it's 10 to the hour, so I'm going to suggest nearly 10 to the hour. So I'm going to suggest we take our first break a little bit early so you can mull over how you want to set up, how you want to frame each of you an investigative scene that hopefully will display some of your talent, your expertise, that will allow us to flesh out the briefing. Because at the moment, we've not got a lot to go on. Yeah. We know that the lead has taken you to a focus on blood, organs, or bodies, maybe from a reputable source. I doubt it. We know that a carnival or a circus is going to be at the center of this. And we know that there is a reward for someone or something involved. And we know that we expect to bump into some pseudoscientists or occultists. Your scenes will add detail to that. Okay, so it is 49 minutes past the hour now. I'm going to suggest that we take a 6-minute break, be back in our seats at 5 to the hour, and you'll have mulled that over and I'll have made a cup of tea. Okay, I will see you shortly. Okay, folks, we're back from our break. And what I want to do now is to frame some investigative scenes in which each player will try to find out more. Because currently we've got the bare bones of an operation. At the minute, if they went in now, they'd be going in pretty blind. So let's go round to Kate. You came up with blood, organs, and bodies. Do you want to assume that your initial investigation has tracked our missing Russian to, that he is now bodies, organs, and or blood? Or do you want to have a chance he's still alive?
Let's say that there's a chance he's still alive, but that I have found other missing persons who are not.
Fine. So how would you like to frame a scene, Kate, that would allow you to add some flesh to the bare bones we have? It's always difficult going first because you've got very little to play with. So,
It is, yeah. Let's go with so should it be related to the Russian person in particular?
To be honest, you could go anywhere with this. I mean, it could be to do with the body's blood, body blood and organs that you've given us.
Yeah, I was thinking of kind of getting in touch with some of my other contacts from my CIA days, and finding out about the other missing people who fit sort of the same criteria, and starting to kind of put together a pattern.
Fine. So where do we see this scene then? Who is this? A series of telephone calls we're seeing, or do you want to focus in on a particular example of one of these meetings?
I think series of telephone calls fits.
Fine. So what I'm seeing then is a montage of Kate making phone calls. Does she have a little black book, or does she keep those contacts in the cloud?
A little black book.
Okay, so
old school.
Yeah, so leafing through, and ringing people, and I'm imagining a kind of series of sharp cuts, which is I just wonder, have you heard anything about, or just the front end of a load of questions? Yeah, okay. What's your demeanor? What do we learn about the way Kate approaches problems based on what we see?
She is very like no nonsense, kind of quick trying to get the information, like moving things along. She's not even though these are people that she's talking to people that she's known for potentially a while.
Yeah.
There's no time for small talk.
Okay, so this sounds like she's engaging her tradecraft, i.e. knowing who to call, rather than her softer charm and persuasion. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So now would be a good time for me to explain the way the mechanism works. Yeah. So if you want to, the link to the dice room is in the Lines and Veils tab. You'll find it's Roll With Me Against the Dark Conspiracy. And what you will see when you go there is an existing dice pool. You're all going to use the same dice pool because there are too many dice in this game for you to all have separate ones. Can everybody see it? Yeah. There is a picture of it on that page, but because I don't want to clutter the dice room with labels, but can you see in the middle there is a kind of white dice? Yeah, that is the dice you always get to roll. Okay. If your expertise or an aspect of your expertise applies, then you also get to roll the orange dice. Yeah, and that's the basic starting point. The only thing I'm interested when you end up rolling dice is what the highest number you roll is. Yeah. So the more dice you roll, the more chance of a high roll. I will try to remember to always ask if you want to include your stress dice. The stress dice is the green dice. So in theory, you know, Kate is going to be rolling the white dice. Her tradecraft expertise applies, so she's rolling the orange dice, and she has a choice of whether she wants to add in the green dice. Let me stress, sorry, wrong choice of word. Let me say that the situation does not have to be stressful for you to include the stress dice. You include the stress dice if you want to increase your chance of success, and what the stress dice rolls will tell you whether you are stressed or not. Okay? So let me go to Kate then. You're rolling the white dice and the orange dice. Do you want to include your stress dice?
Yeah, I'll include the stress die.
Okay, so if you highlight each of those 3 dice, and you'll see there's a re-roll symbol at the bottom of the screen,
Yeah, okay.
and that should make the 3 of them go. There we go. We're only interested in the top score, which is a 6. If the stress dice had also been a 6, we would have used the stress dice, and that would have had a stress consequence, okay? But right now, all we're interested in is you rolled a 6. What you're doing here is investigating. So if you want to look at the basic moves tab, you will find a move there called investigate. When you want to ask a question about someone, something, or somewhere, roll d6 and then add more dice. On a 6, you get the bare minimum. You can also get the answers to 2 questions, but also mark intel, because such is the depth of your understanding. So mark intel, Kate.
Okay.
But in a moment, we'll work out why that is scary and why you are then going to roll for stress. Now, the way we can play this is you can either tell me 2 things, or you can ask me 2 questions. You can either take the narrative control of what they tell you, or you can ask me the questions and I'll give you some narrative information. I have nothing made up, you need to know.
Sure. I mean, neither do I.
So do you want to ask me a question, or do you want to tell us what they tell you?
I will ask some questions. Go to the operation. Okay, so my first question, I want to get a sense of how many people have gone missing.
Okay, let's say that you believe that you can link half a dozen, let's say 6 people, to the disappearance, in as much as they have enough in common to link them. So people who, you know, these are not down and outs taken off the street. These are people who had connections, who had friends, family, people who knew them. And they have all gone missing in the last, let's say, month and a bit. Okay?
Okay.
And you can fill that in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask somebody else to frame a scene, and then I'm going to come back round so you can build the questions you want to ask and what other people have discovered, okay?
That sounds great. Do you want me to roll stress first?
Oh, yes, do. Thank you very much. So for Greg and Sean, who've not played this, when I say roll for stress, you will roll the stress dice, and if it is higher than your current stress, stress will go up. Okay, so go ahead.
Which is gonna happen. 2, yep.
It could have been a 1, but it isn't. It's a 2. So stress goes up by 1. How does that little increase in stress manifest for Kate?
I think we start seeing Kate get a bit paranoid. You know, that you know, like 6 people all going missing isn't a small thing. And especially like if they're you know, all kind of have things in common, you know, theoretically they all might be you know, fairly connected people, and for them to just vanish is alarming.
Yeah, and it's the fact that you know, they have people, they have connections, they have people who know them, who've made complaints to the police, and yet nothing's come back. Okay, that I think is the scary thing. Fine, I'll come back to you. Remind me you have another question to go. Let's move our way along to Tony. Tony, what kind of investigative scene do you want to frame? Because so far, you know that there's a connection to a carnival or a circus. We could find out more about it, or, well, what do you want to know?
That's my plan, I think, to search the dark web for references of this particular circus is the rough idea.
Yeah, maybe this circus has been in or around the location where people have gone missing. And currently we've lost somebody from the Russian embassy in London, so maybe it's currently set up in, I don't know, Hyde Park or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's somewhere very central. So yeah, so what does this scene look like? Is there somebody else in the scene, or again, do we see you, you know, on your laptop interrogating the dark web?
Yeah, I think it's like he has like a laptop and a briefcase that he pulls out, and like monitors pull out of the briefcase. So he's got like a 3 monitor setup from the briefcase, and he's just going wild with it.
Lovely. So that is engaging with your research expertise, which is great. So you're rolling the white dice and the orange dice.
Okay.
Would you like to include your stress dice?
Yeah, this is blood and bodies in a circus, so I don't see how this isn't stressful. So,
Okay, roll all 3 dice.
so I just click the 3, is it?
So yeah, if you click on one, it'll
Yeah.
get a little line round it. And then once you've clicked on all 3 and each of
Yeah.
them's got a line round, there's a re-roll at the bottom. A little kind of, that's the one.
I think I got it.
So a 4. Okay, a 4. Not as good as a 6. So no extra intel as a resource, but equally nothing particularly scary at this point. So on a 4, you can either define something, you can add a detail, or you can ask me a question and I'll add a detail.
So like with the location of where the circus has been, for example, being in Hyde Park and the likes, be a fine detail to add, or?
Well, I mean, I think given that that's where they are now,
Okay.
and the Russians gone missing, I'm assuming that circus in that location is going to be the focus.
Right,
So
okay.
this could be finding stuff out about the circus, so you are better informed when you go there, raid it, burn it to the ground, whatever you choose to do.
Yeah. I think I'd like to, and then you can kind of roll off this, but add a detail about that some of the employees involved in the circus were also involved in shady dealings that I have found on the dark web.
Okay, now I'd go so far as to let you. Do you want to tell me what kind of shady dealings? Are these dealings connected to the conspiracy?
Perhaps so. They have that ring to it, maybe.
Okay, then if you want to add some detail to that effect into the add detail section next to that on Operation 1, that would be great. As an aid memoir to all of us. That's your only question on a 4, so I won't be coming back to you. But I will be moving on to Bodie. You teased out something about motive here. Now, this could all just be conspiracy theory, Bodie. How do we see you trying to add some flesh to the bones of this?
Sorry, so I've chosen reward 4. So someone's offering us a reward, or we've heard in general there's a reward?
To be honest, you're doing this because you think it'll lead you to something about the conspiracy. So there's no reward on the table for you.
Right.
But you could tell me who's being rewarded. You know, is there a whisper maybe that these bodies are sacrifices? A reward for the demons? Are they, or is there a reward for someone for providing the bodies? I don't know. Do you want to find out? And if so, how?
Yeah, I think I'm going to, I don't know, I was thinking like question some people. I think there's a reward.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, so try to use that as a, in effect, you're offering a reward for more information. I'm just looking at negotiation, I suppose, as one of your expertise.
Actually, I was thinking of extreme prejudice. I thought maybe there's some guards or whatever I can just beat the shit out of them.
Okay, so so you're going to try and intimidate somebody.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's maybe some ex-Foreign Legion sort of guards around the circus. Like these guys look like they're ex-military. They're way more than what you'd expect just for a circus.
Let's have you hang out and observe the circus and try to work out what the protection is like.
Because I'm ex-military, so I'm looking at them going, hang on, these don't look like mall cops, you know, what the hell?
Okay. So what does that look like? Do we see you hanging out in a bar on, near a pub near Hyde Park and seeing who comes in and then following them back to the circus? What are we seeing?
I think at first I'll be watching them through a sniper scope.
Oh,
and then
right.
I'll hang on. And then I'll get to watch them go to a pub, and then I'll go to the pub sort of thing.
Fine. And now Extreme Prejudice is all about killing people efficiently, okay? It's not the kind of thing that you default to threaten someone. You kill people with it.
I do negotiation first.
Okay. So what's on the table? Negotiation is a transaction. What are you offering?
Say, look, I've got some cash. I heard there's some lucrative business going down here that I'd like to get in, but I don't like hearing the word no. It makes me very angry.
Okay. Let's see how they respond to that. So I'm going to give you negotiation as expertise. So you're rolling white and orange. Would you like to include your stress dice to increase your chance of success?
Yes, I would.
Go ahead. Oh my, a 1 and 2 twos. And this is interesting because when the stress dice rolls equal to or higher than any other dice, stress automatically goes up by 1.
Sweet.
How does that? And don't go full Monty on this yet, because you've got another 5 steps of stress.
Yeah.
So what is this incremental increase in the stress you feel in this situation? How does that manifest? How does the audience know?
The kind of twinkle in his eye and the grin on his face is gone. His face is just dead serious now. He's not playful anymore.
Okay. Now, for this one, you get the bare minimum amount of information you need to proceed, but also mark heat due to the noise and or clumsiness of your approach.
Sweet.
So I'm going to go along and mark heat. Heat just describes to everybody else how the conspiracy is relating to you. Currently, they're just suspicious. But if this gets too high, they will come after you, not wait for you to come to them. What you will get is what you thought, which is that these are ex-military, Foreign Legion, they're mercenaries. Yeah. So I think that you could add to the detail for Operation 1. I put this down under the other details because there's not somewhere to put it. Oh yeah, but you go on, put it next to the one you had. I think that there are paramilitary protection around the circus. They say that they're just there to help set up the tent, big blokes, but the way they hold themselves, the way that they give you the steely glare back. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to ask you if this devolves to violence yet. But I'm going to leave you in that pub on the off chance you want to seek relief from the horror by going off on one. Okay. Let me come last to Jocko. Jocko, how do we see you adding some detail to this briefing?
I think Jocko's going to use his surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm thinking is he kind of gets down and dirty in it, in the sense that we'll say that there's maybe like sewers underneath this part of, I'm sure there's drainage sewers, around the park. And he's like crawling through the sewers, using them to get into places that, you couldn't get into.
Is he planting bugs? Or is he just, trying to get a close-up look?
This might be more intrusion. So, it might be more intrusion in the sense that he's getting a close-up look.
Fine. And yeah, I can't believe that the bits of Hyde Park that they allow crowds on don't have some kind of drainage arrangements.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so I I'm seeing a guy with a head torch, crawling through the sewers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And finally, maybe just, we see a manhole cover. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes before you ask me a question or add some details. So you've got expertise, you've got the intrusion. Do you want to include your stress dice?
Of course. Jocko doesn't get stressed, but he can. What do we get? Oh my God. Oh
Just for the
my.
audience, that is 3 1s. So
Wow.
so because the stress dice is equal to or higher than, stress goes up by 1.
Oh,
How does
wow.
that manifest for Jocko?
I think since he's this hyper aggressive guy, he just gets more pissed.
Okay.
And so like when he comes back, he might be kicking things. The rest of the team is like, oh, it went like that.
yeah. They don't have to ask for the detail. They know Jocko well enough. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, all you get is the basic information. And I think the basic information you've already defined for yourself is that there is sewer access to the site. Yeah. So if you wanted to get to the site unseen, you could access the site through the sewers. So add that to the details. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
But I'm also gonna mark heat because maybe somebody noticed a manhole cover moving. I don't know. Maybe they did.
They might have heard him say, "God damn it!" Like he stubbed his toe, and like,
yeah.
What was that?
In fact, let's have that little cut scene where one of these burly mercenary types that Bodie's encountered in the pub, kind of. Did I hear something then? And then you see him go to the ringmaster and say, how far do the sewers go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Are they doing any work down there? Okay. So what we have then is that's the situation at this point. We have an operation that involves a circus. We know that the opposite. Oh, I've got a question left, Michael. I'd forgotten. Thank you. Let me come back round to Kate. You still have a question left.
I do.
Based on all of this, what else do you want to add?
I guess I'd like to know. Okay, so we have it as blood organs bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Can I narrow that down?
I think that's going to be tricky, isn't it? Because your approach has been to investigate the missing persons.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, I'm struggling to see a fictional positioning which would allow me to tell you or you to tell me whether they're alive or dead, whether they're. I mean, what I suppose I'm struggling a bit. I think that detail, unless you can give me a fictional positioning route to that.
The only thing that I could think in that case is if it's a traveling circus and there's been like some evidence at former sites.
Okay. Yes, that might work. So do you want to tell me or do you want to ask me the question?
I will ask you the question. Okay.
Go on, phrase it, and I will answer it.
Yeah, okay. So as the circus has moved around, what has been left behind, that either has gone unnoticed or wasn't connected to them or was just flat out ignored.
Okay. I think that what you can find out is that every time it moves on, there's a collection of, because there are carnivorous animals. There are lions and tigers in this circus, and every time it moves on, they have a contract where some butcher comes and collects bones.
Mhm.
And I think I can tell you that the butcher's not very reputable, and because the long bones are hacked up, there could be human bones left over. Okay, does that help?
Oh, totally.
Okay, and I'll also tell you that there is a cold store that travels with them, so they appear to get a delivery of meat, and then it stays on site with them to feed the animals, presumably. Yeah. Okay. So that's the setup we have. That is as good as your intelligence gets, unless a couple of you now have a point of intel. Oh, somebody else rolled a 6, didn't they? Didn't somebody else roll a 6? No? No. Oh, no, you rolled really badly. Sorry, you rolled heat. Kate, you could spend that intel to add more to the briefing, or you could spend it to define an obstacle that Kate should face during the op, or you can sit on it and use it to define the nature of the supernatural beasts when they enter stage left. It has some other uses, but that's your broad choice right now.
Sorry, I think I'm going to hold on to the intel for the moment.
I think it's early days to be
Yeah.
spending. Yeah, fine. Every time you roll a 6 in this game, you will gain intel. Okay, you will also roll for stress, but you'll gain intel. So now we need to determine what the objective of the operation is. Yeah. So if you go to the operation, you'll see you've got some details now. Right at the bottom, it says operational objective. This has to be something that at the end we can answer yes or no to. So let me go. I've just talked to Michael. Let me move along to Tony. Sean, what does Tony want to pitch as the objective here? Do you want to rescue a Russian diplomat?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say rescue the Russian diplomat.
Can we say find the Russian diplomat?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that play okay with the rest of the team? Okay. So do you want to fill that in as the operational objective? As then is to find the Russian. We don't have a name for him, do we? Let's call him Georgi. So there's a chance that Georgi is still alive. And given that's where the lead started, you're hoping to be able to find him. Yeah? Okay. How are we going to do it then? So we've got a lead. You've done some investigation. We won't be adding any more to the operation until you get into it. Okay? So how are you gonna do this? Are we looking at subterfuge, or are we looking at, I don't know, just go in as a customer? I don't know. I last spoke to Tony. Let me talk to Bodie. What's your? Oh, I left you in the pub. Let me ask you: do you want this to devolve into fisticuffs, so you could seek relief from the horror by beating somebody up?
I think I'll walk out of the pub, and then when he leaves, I'll follow him. And I'm not going to be subtle about it, because I'm going to hopefully he's going to get annoyed and I can kick his ass in the alley or whatever.
Okay, let's have you roll to seek relief from the horror, because it'll introduce everybody else to the mechanism. If you go to the seek relief from the horror tab, you will find that there are a number of different ways you can do this. Every one of them reduces stress by 1. So the first thing, Bodie, is reduce stress by 1. Minimum is 1. And then roll a d6.
Oh, I just want that one, don't I?
A 4. So
4.
on 4+, and they are an NPC. Mark Heat. and agree with the GM how the incident is noticed and/or the conspiracy hears about it. So you lost
Well,
the
he is
stress.
one of the conspiracies, so
He goes back and reports.
yep, I did that. So yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
this bloke. There's this bloke, he says to the ringmaster. And he was suspicious as all hell. He was very, very, very suspicious. So great, stress is back to 1, but heat is building. Now let me ask the question, how are you going to approach? So I last spoke to Bodie. Let me move along to Jocko. Jocko, what's your suggestion about how you try to find the Russian in the circus?
Yeah, I think Jocko, he tried the sewers and he screwed that up. So I think he now would want to do some sort of night ops kind of deal.
Okay, so go in at night. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there is a performance every evening. So let me go back round and say to Kate, if you're going to go in at night, is this going to be during the performance or in deepest night? Do you think?
Well, I think Kate would prefer to go during the performance. If for no other reason than there's, you know, other people to blend in with, and you know, more of the workers would be distracted by you know, preparing and putting on the performance.
That would seem logical, wouldn't it? And it would allow Kate to deploy her disguise expertise. Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So it looks like we're going evening rather than deepest night. So during a performance. Let me come to Tony. Anything you want to add to that or tweak it with?
I don't have anything off the top of my head, to be honest.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of how this op opens.
See, I was thinking I would go separately, but I'm like the obvious target that they're going to watch when they go in. Kate goes separately, and she can actually be more effective because they're not looking at her; they're looking at this household that attacked one of their guys or whatever. So I'm managing. I'm pulling the aggro basically.
So does this suggest then that Kate is going to be the inside woman, inverted commas? Tony, are you going to go with the inside woman?
No, I do not blend in well.
I don't know. I mean, eccentric costumes at a circus.
This is true. Maybe at a circus I blend in well.
Because I'm imagining at the moment that it's Jocko and Bodie who are going to be doing the sneaking about, trying to find the Russian, while you're on the inside, and you'll all have comms, so you can stay in touch. But does that make sense?
Yep.
So am I right in saying then Tony and Kate will go in with the crowd? Where you go once you get in with the crowd, so we'll worry about that in a bit. While Jocko and Bodie will be the operational end of this, breaking into places and confronting the opposition. Is that how this is playing out? Okay. So let's cut to the evening of the performance. Roll up, all the fun of the fair, and there are carnival rides. There are stalls where you can throw things at coconuts. All this going on, and it's thronged with people. Yeah. Where do we see Tony? Are you with Kate, or are you separate from Kate?
I'll be nearby, not necessarily right beside, but nearby.
Okay, so eyes on.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kate, what do we see the first time? We see Tony in the crowd. Maybe some people, as they go past, eating their candy floss, kind of looking at the guy, not entirely certain whether he's with the circus or whether he's one of the crowd. Seems very dapperly turned out, and somebody probably is that the ringmaster or Does he have a stall? Wonder what his act is. Maybe he's a magician. And we'll then scan past you to where you're looking, and we see Kate. What do we see Kate doing?
Kate is currently just trying to blend in with the crowd, get a lay of the land. I think one of the things she's kind of scanning for is trying to see where the ringmaster is.
Okay, well, let's have you roll to investigate then. I'm at the minute, if you're just looking about, I guess tradecraft, the ability to look around about surreptitiously without drawing attention to yourself, I think that gives you expertise. You can, of course, include the stress dice if you want it.
I think I will skip the stress die for this one. I got a 4.
Pair of 4s. So if you want to ask the simple question, where's the ringmaster? The ringmaster is at the main tent, and he's up there on a stage outside, with a microphone saying, and tonight's show will include the amazing Flying Gonzalez brothers, and so on. So you've got eyes on the ringmaster. Where do we see Jocko? Because Jocko, your job here is going to be at the intrusion end of this deal, I think. So I'm just curious whether you are already on site or whether you're, in the bushes observing the site.
Yeah, I think what we'll have is there's like a big tree in this area, and he's up in the tree.
Great.
With
Great.
camo on and stuff like that.
Okay. And I think let's see just how good your field craft is, your ability to hide in plain sight by using a bit of camouflage. So you have expertise to establish a good observation location. Do you want to include your stress dice?
Yeah, Jocko feels like he has to prove himself, at least, maybe just to himself. All right, 5.
5 on the stress dice. So that is the highest dice, so stress goes up by 1.
All right.
But that's an uncomplicated success. No particular benefits, no particular costs. You are hidden. Yeah, you're in comms with everyone. You're in a good observation location. If anybody wants to know where somebody else is, you have eyes on. Yeah, and again, I'm seeing the kind of one of those night sights. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
What about Bodie? Is Bodie in the tree, or is Bodie somewhere else?
No, I think I'm going from like caravan to caravan. I've got some like overalls on, as if I'm checking the electricals are plugged in and checking tires are clamped and that stuff, just as if I'm a general workman on the site. But any caravan doors that'll open, I just quickly go in and have a quick look.
You are currently operating undercover, so let's see whether you can maintain your cover. It's a basic move, maintain your cover, when you are at risk of exposure. Yeah. Before I ask for that dice roll, though, I want you to tell me: is this once the performance has begun, or is this at the same time that we're seeing Kate and Tony, outside the tent?
No, I'll start immediately because I'm a workman. I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see then. So you don't have disguise, do you?
I've got tradecraft. That's about it.
Yeah, but really, I think disguise is the obvious, because you are trying to pretend to be someone, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I don't think you're operating with expertise with this. Do you want to include your stress dice?
Bloody oath. Let's go.
Oh, this is going so well. A 6 on the stress dice. Stress goes up by 1.
Yep.
Mark intel.
Oh, good.
But tell me what you find when you look into one of these caravans, because that went brilliantly. Okay, nobody sees you, nobody questions that you're legitimately there. What do you see that just squeezes the stress?
Can it be a bit of a body in like a freezer box?
I'm very happy for you to look into a caravan and look in the fridge. And there, in a plastic bag in the small freezer compartment at the top of the refrigerator, is a hand. Yeah?
Sweet.
And of course, all of you are now aware of that because you all have comms. Yeah?
Hand in the fridge.
I suppose the interesting, no, it would be too short an operation to say it bears a ring with a Russian inscription. So no, there's a hand in a fridge. Let me go back around to Tony. Tony, the performance is going to start soon. And so the crowd is moving towards the big tent, the big top. Do you want to stay outside around among the stalls and caravans? Or do you want to head with the crowd inside the tent?
I'll go with the crowd.
Fine. Kate, you will see Tony heading with the crowd, the flow of the crowd. And again, you know, you're walking around, people kind of looking at you and kind of, yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. What about you, Kate? Do you go with the flow of the crowd, or do you want to stay outside?
I think I'll follow the crowd in so that I can get a good view, but I want to be near the back in case I do have to run out.
Fine. So you want to loiter. Now that's an interesting one because the seats in here are ranked quite steeply. So being far away from the ring means that you could be 15 or 20 feet up.
I think that's fine.
Okay, right.
Oh, I see what you mean. So I'd be
it will be
further.
difficult to slip out.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to be further to the back then.
What I can tell you is that there are 4 kind of avenues between these ranked seatings through which, you people come in through one, and I'm very happy for you to bags a seat on the front corner near that exit.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Do you want it to be the exit the crowd are using, the entry exit the crowd are using, or one of the other 3 ways into the tent that the acts will be using?
Ooh. Let's do one of the acts.
Okay, I think that will require you to get further round and get to a seat quickly, so that could draw some attention. Let me again ask you to maintain your cover as an ordinary member of the public. So disguise applies. You have expertise. Stress dice if you want it.
I think I'm still going to hold on the stress die. Things are going to ratchet up soon, I feel. Okay, 5 on the expertise.
You are in the seat you want to be in. Okay. Tony, what about you when you get in? Are you going to try and sit near Kate, or are you going to, pick a different entry exit for the acts, or locate yourself near the entry exit for the crowd, or somewhere else?
I will take a front row seat near Kate, or
Fine.
at least attempt to.
Fine. I'm not going to ask. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to maintain your cover as well because you are slightly obtrusive.
Yes. So I just rolled the white die, is it?
Just the white dice. Let's see. No, I'm struggling to see.
No, I don't think they fit.
No. So stress dice if you want it, of course. Oh,
I got a 4.
Who needs the stress dice when you roll a solid success? So yeah, you're fine. You're sat along the row from Kate, or maybe on the opposite side of that entrance exit. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go along the row.
Fine. And again, people sit down next to you and think, oh, this must be part, and now somebody in the, you're going to step up and do something. Let's go back to Jocko. Jocko, you've got the crowd. So there's very few people now outside the big top in terms of members of the public. There are some people who came just for the funfair, but just for the stalls, but it's thinned out a lot. You know what Bodie's found, and you know that Kate and Tony are inside the tent where they wanted to be. What do you want to do?
Okay, so can I say what I see, or I just say what I do?
Well, if you want to tell me that you continue to watch, then we'd roll to investigate, and then you could ask me some questions about what you see.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you're in a perfect position. I'm going to continue to use that fieldcraft and your surveillance as expertise. So you're rolling white and orange, green if you want it.
Of course.
Holy
Oh,
mother
man.
of God.
Up again.
So the stress dice is a 4, so you succeed. You can ask me a question,
Yeah.
but stress goes up by 1. What do you want to know?
Do I see, so, do I see anything suspicious as far as people doing things, right? Technically, everyone's in the fair, so not a whole lot should be going on.
I'll tell you something suspicious. The ringmaster gets down from the platform where they've been, doing the kind of spiel outside, and because of your angle on this, you see them go round the back, have a conversation with a different person dressed as a ringmaster, and it is the different person who goes inside the tent, and the ringmaster heads off around the back of the tent. Yeah.
Okay.
So the ringmaster that Kate spotted is now gone inside the tent. There's a new ringmaster in play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Can I follow that person?
You certainly could. So down the tree and then around the perimeter to try and keep eyes on.
Yep. And I also have one question.
Okay.
I guess to seek relief from the whore, those are all pretty extreme things that interfere with the mission.
Well, shall we say that they are all two-edged?
Yeah. Okay.
It might be worth just having a chat about that now.
Yeah.
You can see that there are things like verbally abuse, bully or shame someone, beat someone up, indulge in meaningless sex, get drunk, numb your pain with drugs. All of those are fairly destructive, yeah? And may not be to everyone's taste. There are a couple that might be more to your taste. So for instance, if you say something new about your relationship with your anchor, winner. All it costs is putting them on the target list. Yeah. The other one that you might want to consider is the one right down at bottom right. Once per session, if you remind an operator you care most or least about of a fresh piece of the history that makes you feel like that about them, that might offer you less obvious costs to the mission.
Okay.
All that would require would be now for me to ask you, well, which character you want to nominate as your care least, care most?
Yeah, let me see.
Based on what you know so far.
Yeah. I'm thinking it would be, how about, well, I was going to say Bodie, but he's going to be disappearing.
That's true. At the end of the session.
Yeah. So how about Kate? Because we had worked on I'm almost thinking that maybe we worked on the operation that kind of exposed us to the conspiracy and got us blacklisted.
Okay. So
I dig that idea.
So what you would do is you would just put Kate in the box that says, which member of the team do you care most about? And then you would say, because we worked together on an operation that exposed us to the conspiracy. Yeah. Let me go to Kate now and just ask Kate to tell me something about what that exposure was like. What convinced you that there were demonic forces at work?
Without us having seen demons before, right?
Yeah. What might the first touch with a demonic conspiracy be about?
I mean,
No, don't let me put you under pressure.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like it must have involved, even without seeing an actual demon, like seeing influence or use of power. I mean, I don't know how the demons actually manifest in this
Nor do any of us at this point.
world, but certainly seeing something that we couldn't explain.
Okay, so there's some kind of joint CIA, Navy SEAL operation, and somewhere in the world, you see somebody do something that doesn't make sense to physics. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So you've revealed something about the history you share. So Jocko can reduce stress by 1, but then you roll a d6. Any d6 you like.
All right. The green one, since that always is high. 2.
Oh, it's a 2. Great. Okay. 1 to 3. It just feels like you're milking a relationship when you kind of conjure that, when you call that to mind. Does Jocko really have to rely on Kate? I mean, fuck, she's a spook. Is it that? Have you come to that, Jocko? You feel and therefore you feel bad. You cannot use your expertise until stress goes up again, or you choose to bring your anchor into the conversation and add them to the target list.
Yeah, let's bring the anchor in.
Okay, so your expertise remains available, but Mom, Edith, is in the crosshairs.
And what I was thinking is, and this is just, proposal, is that there's something weird, like some weird magical metaphysical way that they disgraced him.
Oh,
like it wasn't like, it was more of like all of a sudden, something was true that wasn't true before.
Okay, so what about this? You're on an op. Kate has eyes on you, but the rest of your team doesn't have eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate sees you doing what you're supposed to do, but the rest of the team can't find you when they need you.
Yes.
Risk of cowardice in the face of the enemy.
Yes,
is that
perfect.
Yeah,
yes, I like
okay.
it. Yeah.
So something was either some spell or something was cast on them, or some effect was cast on you. Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. That adds a bit of flesh to the world.
Great. And I'm worried that the same could happen to my mom, and I would
of course
not.
You are.
I wouldn't know, right?
So I think then we have a little cutscene where we see someone scrolling through the rest of your SEAL team, right? Mm-hmm. And they're scrolling through that SEAL team, and then they come to you, and the screen focuses in on your mother's name.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edith, and I will now tick the box that has target ? Above it.
All right.
Poor Edith. She doesn't even know.
Oh,
so that is the state of play, but you got to stress back. Hey. So
all I had to do was sacrifice Mom. All right. Excellent.
Not yet. She hasn't disappeared off the face of the earth yet.
Okay.
She's not in a carny van somewhere in Oklahoma.
Yes.
So that's all very interesting, and you are following him round. You lose sight of him, okay, because you rolled a 2, unless, as it says here, oh no, you were investigating. No, do something else. You wanted to stick. You fail or succeed at a cost. What's the cost if you want to succeed?
All right, the 2 is for the stress, right?
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you rolled a 4, which was you could keep it. Yeah, sorry. You follow him round the back of the tent.
Okay.
And he goes in to a different tent that's kind of separate from the big top, and it's also separate from where the fair is. He's gone in there, and everybody knows that because you're all in comms. Let me now go to Bodie and find out, Bodie, you've come out of the tent, you've seen all this happening. There's a second ringmaster, and Jocko is saying, yeah, he's gone into a tent at the back of the big top. Meanwhile, you've got Kate and Tony saying, yeah, we're inside. What do you do, Bodie?
I'm going to try and get close to that tent and listen in.
Okay, so I see you coming together with Jocko, yeah? So I'm going to put the pair of you in sight of that subsidiary tent. Let me ask inside, Tony. Tony, what are you going to do? The performance has started, and to all intents and purposes, it looks like an ordinary performance. What did we see Tony doing?
Tony's currently watching everyone and Kate to see if a move needs to be made or if we're biding our time at the moment.
Okay, so Tony's biding his time, waiting for something unusual.
Yeah.
Is he looking for something unusual?
He's looking mostly in the performers to see if any of them look like the people he saw that may have been involved with the conspiracy beforehand.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's have you roll to investigate. So you could ask me that question maybe. I think, I mean, I'm just trying to think. Do you think you have expertise? I tell you what, no, I'll include expertise for research because you did that
perhaps
digging.
the research. Yeah.
You've got those faces in your head.
Yeah.
So expertise is in, stress dice if you want it.
Okay, we will go with.
I'll just say over comms, do any of the performers look like the people that are missing?
That's an interesting question. Let's see where this questioning goes. Roll them bones.
3.
A 3. 1 to 3 is you get the basic information. And the basic information is, yes. You know, one of the clowns, one of the acrobats, the woman who rides round standing on the back of a horse. Yeah?
Yep.
And so, yes, you identify. But of course, they're only performing one at a time. So all of the people that you had identified as having potential conspiracy connections are seen by the audience, but they're only seen one at a time. Yeah? Yep. It's not all the clowns, though now that strikes me as a really scary possibility. But yeah, it's only one of the clowns. Kate, Tony's keeping his eyes open. What are you doing?
I want to kind of wait for, you know, an appropriate sort of act break. And just as the, you know, the new act starts and people come out of the
from backstage
alley, for lack of a better word, next to us, I want to sneak down in there.
Okay. So pick an act that just stopped.
The elephant on the, or the bear on the unicycle, is that a thing?
A bear on a unicycle? I mean, we're drifting into animal abuse here, but if everyone's okay, I'm going to go with a bear on a unicycle. The bear on the unicycle cycles off. Who comes on?
Lion tamer.
A lion. Great. There are lions.
I don't know much about carnivals.
There are lions in play. Okay. So, and you kind of just head out towards, you know, and you'll go down that alleyway, and there's a sign to the left that says, you know, customer toilets. So you could, you know, there is a way to get to the toilets here. But then there's a kind of this clearly connects to a tent at the back. Yeah, there looks like there's a kind of satellite tent at the end of each of these alleyways where it's the green room, it's backstage, whatever. So where do you want to go? And then I'll tell you how difficult it might be, or we'll make a dice roll.
Yeah, is there anything back where I am? I mean, particularly looking for you know, like a costume to slip into a disguise kind of thing, or would that be further back?
Oh, well, now of course, if you were to, now we've not talked about load at all. Let's go down and talk about load and equipment.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I have assumed you were all lightly loaded. Now, if you are lightly loaded, then you can, you know, you're just another member of the public. Yeah. But you only have 3 equipment slots. and the only gear you can choose has one little box next to it. Now, when you hit the drop downs, you'll see that they all have 1, 2, or 3, or sometimes an empty box, which means they don't take up any space. There is down there a disguise kit. Yeah, I can't remember how many boxes I gave it.
Just one.
So with a disguise kit, you are assumed to have a change of clothes under the one you've got on or whatever. Yeah. So and you needn't select any equipment until it's called on. What I will now, though, pin you down on is, Tony, I'm assuming you're trying to stay unobtrusive, so we'll stay lightly loaded. However, Jocko, Bodie, you were trying to you were pretending to be some kind of mechanic, electrician, yeah? I think I'd allowed you to be medium loaded if you wanted to be.
No, I won't need it.
Okay. And Jocko, you're the only person who could be in full tactical gear. So you could be heavy loaded. The disadvantage of heavy loaded is if somebody sees you, you are going to look like somebody on a special op. Yeah. And you are, but you've got lots of equipment. Yeah. Okay. So medium or heavy, Jocko, or do you want to stay light?
We'll say medium.
Okay, fine. That makes you, you're still dressed as a civilian, but you're a civilian with a backpack.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't have to fill in my gear now.
No.
I can just fill it as needed. Yep.
Indeed. Think blades in the dark. Yeah. So I would actively tell you not to select stuff. Yeah, because you don't know what you're going to need. Kate, you've engaged with the disguise kit. Let's have you roll to see how well that goes. Does somebody spot you or not? So this is roll to do something else.
All right.
Stress or not?
Yeah, I'll take stress. And
Expertise
I get to
is...
use expertise on this, right? Yep. Sweet. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, wow.
4, but at least stress doesn't go up.
It doesn't. 4 is an ordinary success. No complications, no benefits. You successfully become what?
Oh, a carny.
Do you want to, so is this just somebody in overalls and a hat, or are you a performer of a particular kind?
Yeah.
Go clown or go home.
What's that?
Go clown or go home, I think.
Yeah, let's go full clown.
Okay.
I at least certainly won't be recognizable as myself.
and what I'm going to assume is that it's a very convincing rubber clown face. So you don't have to kind of, you can become you at the drop of a hat. Yeah. Okay. So we see you strip off what turned out to be a baggy dress and an overcoat, and down comes some baggy pants, wig and you are a clown. And where do you go now that you've become a clown?
Now I want to go into the further auxiliary tent.
The backstage area. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tony, you see, Kate slip out behind the unicycling bear, and you get a message, I'm in.
Okay. I think it's my time to move after the lion tamers then.
Okay, so the lion tamers come on at a different, come out heading off that way. Who comes on when the lion tamers go off?
Tightrope walkers.
So there's going to be a bit of a delay while we have the lion act. Yeah, comfortable with that?
Yep.
Okay, so while the lion act is going on, we've got Kate in one of the backstage areas. Jocko and Bodie are together. Okay, Bodie, what's the plan? Because there's the tent where the guy went.
Oh, I've got a crowbar, and I'm like, you ready?
Whoa, wait. Hold on there. We want to get some information out of them, and we don't want to alert them.
This is not the way we do it in the Navy, I think is.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Look, that is too good a point. Of whoa. That's where the commercial break happens.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
Let's take a 5-minute break. I will pause the recording. Okay, we're back from our our final break. Doesn't time fly? So we know where everybody is. We have Jocko and Bodie at this other tent. We have Kate mixing in with the circus people backstage, dressed as a clown. Tony, the lion act finishes. What do we see you doing?
I am going to try and make my way over towards Kate. I won't intrude if she is in somewhere that I won't get to because I'm not in act, but I'm nearby if she needs assistance.
I mean, you are dressed eccentrically.
True. I somewhat blend in.
You'll blend in better back there than out here.
Definitely, yeah.
And so excuse me, you move along the row. The lion act goes off. Everyone's attention is on the lion act leaving, and the arrival of which act?
The tightrope walkers.
Oh, the tightrope walkers, of course. Sorry, I'd forgotten.
No worries.
And then, everybody looks up because they're like 40 feet off the ground, and that's the moment when you go around the corner.
Yeah.
And that's when somebody just pulls on the back of your coat.
I just keep walking.
And excuse me, mister, says a child's voice.
Yes.
And there's a kid with an ice cream. And he says, "Are you part of the circus?"
Oh, yes, I am. I do magic tricks.
Oh, can I see a trick?
Sure. And he pulls a pack of cards out and does a really quick, like very basic trick that a kid would find fascinating, but one that doesn't take much time at all.
Okay, I'm just skimming through my knowledge of the basic moves I wrote to see which one fits best. I think this is roll to do something else.
Okay.
I don't know. I would argue larceny is sleight of hand pickpockets.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna give expertise, but it is rolling to do something else is the move. Yeah, I'm gonna give you larceny because I think that sleight of hand might well fall into that.
Yeah.
So you're rolling with expertise. Would you like to include your stress dice so you can get away from this kid?
Oh yeah, this is stressful. Yeah, kids are not my forte.
Oh, a 5. Billy is dead impressed. Wait till I tell my brother that the circus man did a trick just for me. Thank you, mister. And he goes back to his seat.
Perfect.
And we'll see what happens next in a moment. I should tell you that was my obstacle, effing civilians. I've added them, and you have overcome that obstacle. 3 more obstacles to overcome before this can possibly be a success. So let's go to Kate, mixing in with the circus people. What's her objective now that she's in disguise?
Really just to kind of snoop around, in this satellite tent that people aren't typically allowed into, just to kind of see any other information that she can gather about, why people were taken, if kind of why these particular people, why people in general.
Okay,
let's have you
roll to investigate. I think I'll give you expertise because you're in disguise. Nobody's kind of surprised when you're looking about.
Just a normal clown doing normal clown stuff.
Exactly. Clowns are always looking about. Stress or not, your choice.
Yeah, I'll take the stress. I got a 5, and the highest is on stress.
Well, isn't that a joy? Stress goes up by 1. But so you want to know? Okay, I will tell you that in terms of what's suspicious broadly, you've also got a picture of the people that Tony identified as possibly. Because you've had a running commentary. He says, "Yeah, do you see the clown with the blue hair? Yeah, I think that's one of them." And you will see the clown with the blue hair slipping out the back of this kind of assembly area. Where the rest of the clowns are prepping for their next intermission performance, you know, filling buckets with confetti and stuff. And so the clown with blue hair just slipped out the back of the tent. And the other thing I will tell you is that, you know, there was, you know, the acrobat, the female acrobat, the one with the blonde hair. She's not in sight either. Yet you saw her come and go earlier in the performance. So she ought to be back here, but she's not. And in fact, none of the conspiracists, the people involved with the conspiracy that Tony thought had a connection, none of them are back here. Okay? Let me go to Jocko and Bodie, because that's where we took a commercial break. So Jocko, finish that sentence. Oh, no.
Yeah.
So where does that conversation go?
Wait. It's not clobbering time yet, buddy. We want to know what's in there, and we don't want to spook him yet. Do we want to do the dumb old drunk maneuver?
And clearly this may be a Navy SEALs one, but MI5 have not used that one, so you'll have to explain that one, Jocko.
Okay, all right. I was thinking maybe it's something we've done in the past. You know, maybe Bodie can act like some just you know, civilian, get their attention, and then I can scope out the tent.
Was this an effort to seek relief from the horror by sharing something about about your backstory with Bodie? Oh no, we decided not to involve Bodie in that because he won't be here for the rest of the series. No, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's our meat shield.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm dressed as a worker, so I can't really come across as a customer.
Yeah.
You could come across as a drunk, though.
Or you know, if you're, what I'm thinking is you could be a diversion, so I could go in there, or we could get some more. That's one idea.
What's Bodie's suggestion?
You can use the crowbar after this one. If this doesn't work, we'll use the crowbar. What do you think, Bodie?
I'm not sure how I can divert them. I suppose I could try and set fire to the front of their tent.
Okay. You know, get the crowbar. We'll crowbar. All right. You know, I mean, he pulls out his gun. He's like, okay, you win. Next time we do my plan.
So okay. Do you want to go up to the edge of this tent and listen?
Yeah, we'll do that first.
Okay, that's fine. So you've got to the tent where the ringmaster went.
Yep.
You see a clown with blue hair crossing from the green room towards this more isolated tent. Let me go to Tony first. So Tony, you've got rid of your kid. You're now heading towards the green room area, for want of a better phrase. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to just brass neck it in there?
I will, yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So you just breeze in as though you belong there.
Yeah. That's okay. The air I'm giving off.
I'm not seeing any particular expertise.
No.
So I'm going to say you are rolling to not attract attention, to maintain your cover with only the white dice, unless you want to include the stress dice.
Yeah, I'll include the stress.
Oh, you mean you're cool as a cucumber? Just
I am, potentially. Let's see, depending on the roll. No, not this time. I'm not cool.
It was bound to go up. So stress goes up by 1. But yeah, you know, you are dressed oddly. They live in a world where they work with people who dress oddly, so you don't attract any immediate attention. So what does Tony see Kate doing?
Is that a question for Kate or
No,
for
sorry,
me?
that's a question for Kate. I beg your
Okay.
pardon.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Kate is following the blue-haired clown.
Tony, you see Kate heading through a flap at the back of the tent.
I'm en route to.
Okay. Jocko, you see the blue-haired clown come out of the back of the tent we've been talking about and heading towards the tent that you're at. And then followed by another clown. But you know which disguise Kate took with her. So you know it's Kate, yeah? But let's have you both listen at the tent. Now there is a kind of basic move to cooperate. It means each of you will listen, and we'll take the best dice that comes out of the entire set, but we'll also apply all the worst dice. Yeah. So if one of you rolls 1 to 3, tough cheddar. Let's start with, because it just strikes me that Jocko is the slightly more professional here. So
Yeah.
Jocko,
Well, I had a question.
surveillance.
Is there some sort of gear I can use to increase my surveillance?
If you'd planted some bugs, we could be using those, but no.
Okay.
So it wouldn't give you an extra die roll. You can select the surveillance kit if you like, but it wouldn't give you any extra. So
All
you're
right.
using surveillance, which gives you the orange dice, green one if you want it.
Of course. All right. Let's see. Bink, bink, bink. All right. 5.
A 5. So you can ask me a question, which I guess is, what can I hear inside?
Yeah.
This is a game called Against the Demonic Conspiracy. You hear chanting.
Okay. I guess one thing is, how many do I hear inside?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think you hear several people, maybe 2 handfuls of people chanting. Okay?
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, let's see if when, you never know your luck, when Bodie rolls without expertise, but with the
wait,
stress
Bodie,
die.
you don't need to hit the tent with the crowbar to listen.
Are you sure?
So Bodie, roll the ordinary dice. Do you want to roll the stress dice and
Bloody
see how
oath.
this goes? Because if it's a 6,
Yeah,
you
that's-
get to ask me a question of your own. Oh, it's a 6. That goes brilliantly. So best result, you get to ask me a question as well, Bodie. So we know that there is the chanting of maybe a couple of handfuls of people inside. What do you want to ask me?
Does any of the chanting have a Russian accent?
Oh, that's an interesting question. And I think the answer to that is no.
Sweet. That means they're all viable targets.
But the good thing about rolling a 6 is that you gain intel. Congratulations. And then you get to roll for stress. Because the fact that there isn't a Russian in there means they are all the potential targets. So you don't have, oh, that's a 6. Okay, stress goes up by 1. 2 handfuls of people, that's not an easy take. Tony, you see Kate slip out the back of the tent. You follow her, yeah?
Yep.
Kate, you see the blue-haired clown enter the tent that, from its description, is the tent that Jocko and Bodie have eyes on or are concerned about. What do you do?
Forgot to unmute myself. They have eyes on, but not inside. So I'm going to continue to follow the clown and head in like I know what I'm doing.
And let me just check. Tony, do you want to catch up to Kate so you go in together, or do you want to stay separated?
No, I won't go into the tent. Won't go that far.
Okay.
That is probably the smarter play.
Okay. Kate, the hairs on the back of your neck as you approach the flap go up. And I'm going to invoke the complication. Where's it gone? This doesn't feel right. You have a bad feeling about the obvious way forward. Something bad will happen unless you go round.
So is achieving that going forward anyway or going around?
If you go forward, something bad will happen.
Right.
If you go around and waste some time,
Yeah.
then you think you can avoid something bad happening.
Okay. I will listen to my instincts and break off.
Okay, so your eyes on the blue clown has gone. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Tony, you are up with Kate. And she now seems to be suggesting finding a different way in.
Okay.
What explanation do you give, Kate? What do you tell Tony?
I think I probably just tell Tony that I have a bad feeling that there's something going on in there.
Okay. And Tony, I think when you come up to her, you too will hear it's faint, this chanting, but you can hear something coming from that tent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, Bodie, Kate and Tony are at the front. Kate is saying, I don't think I should use the front flap. So she's coming around the tent towards you. What are you going to do? Are you going to wait? Is this the point where I get all four of you in the same position? Of course not, says Bodie. No, what are you going to do, Bodie?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go around the front. Now, can I spend intel to say they're like they've got their hand over a fire or something, so they're fireproof? Like define.
Once you've got narrative positioning to do that, you could do. Let me take you to the Beasts tab. The Beast tab is where we will define the powers, compulsions, deterrents, and vulnerabilities of supernatural things or people. Yeah.
Yep.
I get to define powers. I get to either reveal compulsion, deterrent, vulnerability, or you get to spend intel to define them. Yeah. But you need to have someone to define. And generally speaking, you can't define a deterrent until you've defined a compulsion, and you can't define a vulnerability until you've defined a deterrent. Yeah, so it kind of, what you know about them will build from the bottom up. Okay. Unless I reveal it. Yeah? Okay. So, Chanting going inside, Bodie says, I'll go that way. Jocko, what's your view of this? Do you go with him, or are you going to, cut a hole in the back of the tent?
Yeah, we'll cut a hole, and he's gonna whip out some big ass gun. What is? I mean, this is like inside, so like assault rifle is kind of not for a room, right?
Well, I mean, long is, you could pick somebody off across you could use it across the site.
Yeah.
There's a compact SMG.
What is that?
It's one of those small HPK5s, one of those things that you could just about get into a shoulder holster, but it goes brr, brr.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
So select that. Because you are medium loaded, you can select anything with 1 or 2 squares.
Gotcha.
Okay. But if you want to cut your way into the back of that, you're going to have to select knives.
Okay.
Knives, several. Intimate or thrown to close. Yeah.
Yep.
So you now have used 4 of your equipment slots, 1 to come. Are you going to define that equipment now, Blake? Because you've selected handgun, ballistic vest, and improvised weapon, which would be all 3 of your slots. Okay, fill up your gear slots. That is what we now see on screen. Nothing else to come. Apart from the disguise kit, Tony and Kate have got a clear. So Bodie goes around the front, and he's still in contact and goes inside. Yeah.
And he says, "Where's Georgie?"
When you cross the threshold, I am going to need you to roll something. Let me just find out where other rules, I think. There is a ward on this front flap that you have just broken.
Sweet.
This will stop an operator taking an action and forces them to do what the ward is intended to do. Yeah. You can protect themselves or resist it by rolling for stress and succeeding. Or if you want to guarantee success, just mark stress. This is going to freeze you in place.
Doesn't that define one of their powers as well, that they can do these?
It does.
Yeah.
And I am about to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it mesmerism because it has the same effect. It just means you do what I tell you. I'm
going to burn the stress, but like maybe it takes a couple of seconds.
Exactly. So you are held, and your comms go dead. I can't fucking move. Jocko, slice down the back of the tent.
Yes.
And step through.
Heck yeah.
It's a mirror maze.
A mirror maze?
You step into what looks like 4 mirror images of yourself.
What? Bodie, come in. Where are you? Bodie. Hey, Tony, Kate, anybody?
Yeah, Tony and Kate are behind you.
I don't know.
So there's you've cut a slice in the tent, you've stepped through, and you step through to see what looks like repeating images of yourself disappearing into the distance.
Can I walk?
Is just behind you, and so is Tony. You can still see them.
They're in with me.
Yeah, you can step back out through the
yeah,
if you want to.
Hey, I'm in some weird mirror dimension. I don't know if you guys want to come in here. And can I walk? Like, is it a mirror in the sense that like I hit a wall? That's a mirror, or
we'll come to that in a moment. I have just invoked choices. This is a labyrinth. It's going to cost time or confusion. Yeah. Kate, Tony, do you follow Jocko into the mirror maze?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Can I ask who brings up the rear? I love in non-traditional games to say, what's the order that the party adopts?
I'll be at the back.
Okay, so Kate steps in after, followed by Tony.
Wait! I thought I said go somewhere else.
This sounds interesting.
So how are you going to find your way forward, Jocko?
Sorry, say that again.
How are you going to find your way forward?
Well, like put my gun up, and like, is it a maze in this? Okay, it's a maze where there's mirrors and all that.
It's confusion.
Yeah,
I need to know. Do you feel your way forward and see whether they are all solid or whether there's a way through?
Yeah, I use my gun. Tap them.
Okay.
I thought you meant shoot for a second.
Yeah. Shoot down all the mirrors.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jocko. Roll with surveillance to work your way through this because you've got good sensory skills. Okay. So you're rolling with expertise. Stress if you want it.
Yep. 6.
Oh, 6. Rolling to do something else. I will read it. It says you succeed brilliantly, and the GM will agree with you what extra benefit you get. Also, mark intel. These guys can make mirror mazes. And roll for stress because it's scary. So let's have you mark intel and then roll for stress.
Yep. 4. I think that is stress.
What's your current stress?
It was 3. Now it's 4.
Now it's 4. Okay. What do you want the extra benefit to be? It could be to reduce the time it takes.
Yeah. I'm even thinking maybe Jocko realizes something and shoots down one of the doorways.
Do you want to? I'll let you find a quick way through without having to shoot at it because that would give your position away, wouldn't it?
Okay. It would be
Unless
kind of
that's-
cool to shoot. Can I shoot it without giving my position away?
Oh yes, let's do that because you're in a
okay.
mirror maze. How would they
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Fine. So, and I guess it doesn't matter because at the point that that Bodie's willpower breaks through the ward, is the same point at which this mirror shatters, and all three of you step into the same space as Bodie. Bodie's come in from one direction, you've come in from another. And in here, there is a circle of 10 carnies and a ringmaster. And in the center is somebody staked out on the ground while they are chanting. Bodie, your willpower gets you through. You've marked the stress. You are free to act. But somebody, the ringmaster has seen you because the ward was triggered. What do you do?
I'll start shooting them. I'm just going to bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
Like, they had someone's hand in the thing. They well and truly jumped over the line. So.
Okay. I'm gonna add the
So I'm
ringmaster.
just like, where's Geordie?
I'm going to add the ringmaster as a beast, and I'm going to give the ringmaster the power of regeneration. So you just fire at the group, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's.
When you said he's a beast, I thought you meant he was the bear on the.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's the greater demon you'll meet in session 4. So let's have you roll to confront the conspiracy and its pawns. So you will have expertise. You have extreme prejudice as well here. So you are rolling with expertise. You're also rolling the dark gray extreme prejudice dice. Do you want to include your stress dice?
I certainly do.
You're also, there's a chance that they may come at you. So will you also, so 6 is your best outcome, it's not on the stress dice. Will you also roll the top 2 failure dice, the pink one and the slightly darker pink one? A 5, that's less than what you rolled, so you don't take a consequence. But you inflict a consequence on them, it's a 6. I'm going to let you take down 3 of these cultists, yeah?
Okay, we can say that I rolled lower on the 2 failure dice if you want to add something to the story, because I'm only here for the one shot. So.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's go with what the dice tell us. So you have taken down 3 of the cultists. That is the point at which, at the same point, Jocko blasts through this mirror maze, which Jocko, you do need to know, wasn't made of glass. It shatters like glass, but there's no glass. It is some kind of illusion. Yeah. And you step into the space, Jocko. What do you do?
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to save the person that's in the center of the maze.
You will have to get past the 2 or 3 cultists who were going to go with the rest towards Bodie, but have now turned to you because of the gunfire. Okay. Mm-hmm. So are you going to confront them?
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yes. So let's have you confront the conspiracy or its pawns. Do you want to kill them or do you just want to get past them?
Just get past them.
Okay. As long as I know. So you are rolling with expertise because you've all got fight or hand to hand. And do you want to include the stress dice?
Yeah.
Would you also include the top 2 failure dice, please? And roll them all together. Okay, so a 5. And I think I only saw the top pink one move. Could you just re-roll the second pink one?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
All right, there we go.
Even
better.
5 is a success with no benefits or complications. What do we see as you get past them? What does it look like?
He doesn't shoot them because he doesn't know what's going on right now. But basically, he'll like hit them with the gun. You know, he does some close. You know, he uses his some fisticuffs
and gets past them.
Yeah.
Leaving Tony.
Yeah, maybe
Kate
he like
to
stabs
deal with
one
them.
in the leg, maybe like stabs one in the leg to take him down, that sort of thing.
And you are through where the ringmaster is standing above the Russian. Let me come. Tony, you came in last. So Kate, you see all this happen. What do you do, Kate?
I guess like how are the cultists reacting?
Well, so there are two handfuls here. 5 of them have rushed Bodie, taken 3 of them down. Another 3 have turned towards you. Jocko has barged past them, leaving them between you and him now. And there are another 3 on the far side of the Russian, and the ringmaster's in the middle. Does that help?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna shoot a cultist.
That's never a bad policy in these games, is it? So let's have you roll to confront the conspiracy in its pawns. You are rolling with the with expertise. Stress dice if you want it, but would you also include the top 2 failure dice?
Yes, I seem to have lost the window. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so the top 2 failure dice, expertise and stress.
Yep.
Oh boy, that went very poorly for me.
Right. So 1 to 3, you fail or succeed at a cost. The cost I'm offering you is that you will empty your gun.
Yeah, I'll
Maybe
take that
there's
cost.
some panic, you know. And I am going to mark heat because they're going to come after the clown. So you empty the magazine, but you do hit one of them. Yeah, so you'll take one of them down, but because they rolled higher than you, you are at risk of a consequence. And if you go to the basic moves, you'll find a consequence. You simply roll 1d6. Because they are goons, you will add 3 to the dice. High is good.
Okay, I will just roll the white die. I rolled a 2, plus the 3 makes it a 5.
So 4 plus. You were lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live. So they are on you. And Tony, they're going to be on you in a moment, unless you tell me you do something else. What's your thinking, Tony?
Tony would like to go in something non-violent, like a taser or like a custom-made taser or something of the likes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a taser in the list, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Select a taser, and take them down with that is your objective, yeah?
Yep.
The only trouble with the taser is that it needs to be reset every time you use it.
Okay.
So the maximum you can take is one goon. But
okay.
They all count. So let's have you roll to confront the conspiracy in its pawns. You will have expertise. Do you want to include the stress dice? Would you please include the top 2 failure dice?
Okay.
Oh, that's so unfair.
Unlucky.
So you succeed. You take another one down. So I think that's 5 on the ground at this point. But because of that 6 on the failure dice, you need to roll a single dice and add 3 to it.
Okay, I'm gonna roll the green one.
High is good. I don't know why I'm asking you to do this. The minimum you can roll is 1. Goons are always going to add 3. It's always going to be 4. Oh, I know why, because on a 6, you get a bonus out of it. Yeah. So that's a 5. So 3 and 3, that's a 6. On a 6, it says also mark intel. Thanks, Tony. Mark intel. But you are being mobbed by demon worshipping clowns. Would you roll for stress, please?
Yeah. I'll roll the top right one.
Okay. Oh,
That's a
cool.
1.
It's a cucumber. This guy has ice water in his veins. So let's go back round to Bodie. You took 3 of them down. 2 of them are up close and personal to you now, Bodie.
Yeah, I'll, headbutt them, try and smack them into each other, and yeah, done.
Kill or incapacitate?
Incapacitated at this point.
Okay, go for it. Again,
they seem fearless because I just killed 3 of them and they're not even stopping.
Hey,
so
when you worship a demon, you know you can win everything. So include the stress dice if you want it. Remember, you have extreme prejudice, but you're also rolling the top 2 failure dice.
So there we go.
Oh, wow, look
Oh.
at that. Gee whiz, I wish I could give you something for 2 6s. You take no harm at all. You take both the remaining ones coming at you down. You know, what does that look like?
Sort of block one, headbutt the other one, and then gut punch them and then smack their heads together.
They may believe that they are blessed by a demon, but you are taking them down like 9 pins. Let me come to Jocko. There's Georgi, tied down, staked out on the ground. You notice a pentacle. And there's the ringmaster. And he is reciting something at you. He's reciting something. I'm going to give him a power of summon insects. And suddenly there is a buzzing all around him, and it's as though he's encased in bees. And then he throws his hands out, and the bees come at you. What do you do, Jocko?
Okay. Jocko is gonna run and try to take down the ringmaster.
So
with a
tackle
knife.
him, literally.
Yeah. If the bees are gonna attack him, Jocko, he wants to get in close proximity of the ringmaster.
Now, the way that nearly all the beast powers work is that they negate your expertise while the effect is in play. So you will be rolling without expertise, because you're distracted by the bees. So do you want to include your stress dice?
Yes.
I am not going to give him anything else, so you are simply rolling 1 failure dice, because the others have been rolling 2 because of the numbers. So
because of the
middle
numbers?
dice, green dice if you want it, and the top pink dice.
Actually, I have a question now. What are the gray dice? What is that for?
The gray is for extreme prejudice.
Which
is,
can I do extreme prejudice against this guy?
Alas, no. The only way for you to get that gray die is to have a heavy weapon with you.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. The Scalp Hunter gets to use it with any weapon.
And why only 1 failure dice?
Because he doesn't have a particularly aggressive power.
Ah, gotcha.
Just 1 bloke, whereas the others have been confronting a group.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. See what we get.
So you're home free here. Oh, ouch! Ouch!
And so I guess even though you're using some Cthulhu Dark, you're not using the reroll, right?
No.
Gotcha.
As I think it says in the rules, try again. Unlike the rules, you cannot try again. Gotcha. The conspiracy offers no second chances.
All right.
So you roll 2 1s. One of them's on the stress dice. Stress goes up by 1.
Uh-oh.
He rolled a 4, which is higher than yours. So you're going to roll a d6 to find out what the consequence of this is.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You add nothing to the dice. Because he's not a 6.
Bam.
Holy mother of God. 4+. You were lucky this time. It hurts, but you'll live. You can feel these bees just stinging you. You know, they're trying to sting you in the eyes. They're trying to get into your mouth, into your ears to sting you. On a natural, mark intel, because you just learned something about the conspiracy. But this is scary. Would you roll for stress? Oh, stress already went up. That's okay. So stress went up. You marked intel. All is well with the world. Let me go back around.
I assume I don't get to him, right?
Oh, you are now up close and personal to him. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah?
So the failure was...
The failure is that you don't do any harm to him, right?
Gotcha.
So you can't stop him doing whatever he's doing. Yeah.
Cool.
Bodie, there are none between you and the ringmaster and this swarm of bees that is now encased around Jocko. Kate and Tony still have 3 more cultists. Sorry, they've got 2 more cultists, and there is 3 cultists who are now coming towards you. What do you do, Bodie?
I've got to think Jocko can handle himself because he's almost as tough as me.
Whoa. Check the chat. Check the chat.
Jocko needs backup, it says in large friendly letters.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Let's go the ringmaster. Just bang, bang, bang with the ringmaster.
Well, hang on, because you've got a swarm of bees encasing Jocko and a ringmaster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is it just head height, though? Could I try and shoot him in the feet?
Well, both of them have feet.
One question. Is the ringmaster tall?
No. If
Okay.
you shoot, whatever result you get, I'll roll randomly whether you hit Jocko or the ringmaster.
All right. Either Tony or Kate had 2 against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one that had 2, I'm going to shoot at them.
Okay, let's have you do that then. So confront the conspiracy and its pawns with expertise, with extreme prejudice, stress if you want it. They can't do you any harm, so none of the pink dice.
It's a tragedy. Let's go. Bam. 6 for stress.
Stress goes up by 1, but you take both of them down. So now Kate and Tony are freed from the opposition.
Now, I used the stress dice, so it should have gone up to 5 anyway. Because of the result of that, does that go up to 6? Have I lost it?
No, it only ever goes up by 1 step.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you are now on 5. 1 more step and you will be at 6. Kate, Tony, Blake took them down from behind. Tony, what do you want to do?
Taser the big man.
He is encased with Jocko in a swarm of bees. So whatever result you get, I will roll randomly to see whether you taser Jocko or the big man.
I see.
Now that may be a risk you want to take.
No, I won't. I won't do that to Jocko. I will instead try to take the Russian out of the way.
Okay, so while Jocko distracts the ringmaster, you're going to try and free Georgi.
Yeah.
Fine. I think that's about rolling to do something else. Am I seeing any expertise at play? I don't think so.
No.
So I think you are rolling to do something else without expertise. Stress dice if you want it. Oh,
that's a 6.
Wow. So you're going to succeed. You're going to free Georgi, but on a 6, you mark intel.
Okay.
Yeah. But you get up close to those bees, and those are no ordinary bees, Tony. They are big bastards. Would you roll for stress, please, on that 6?
Sure. I will roll the green one. That's a 6.
I think stress goes up by 1. But you marked intel. You succeeded, and because it's a 6, you get an extra benefit. What do you want that benefit to be?
Can the benefit be that while I'm freeing Georgie out of the way, that the bees mostly focus on me instead of Jocko?
Oh, that how very satisfying that is. Goodness me, yeah, good for you. So yes, I'm very happy for Georgi to just roll away from the pentacle towards Kate, and I'm content for you to now be taking the bee attack.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's not a lot you can do against these bees.
No.
But I will allow you to roll to just try to reduce to just kind of get them away. So you can roll the white dice. You can roll the stress dice if you want it. But you're going to have to roll one of the failure dice.
Okay. I rolled a 2 on the failure one and a 1 on the white.
I don't think there's a way that you're going to get rid of them. So they are going to inflict a consequence on you. Okay. Roll one of the dice. There are no additions to this.
Yeah,
high is good for you.
Bottom right one.
Okay.
That's a 6.
On a 6. Mark intel.
Okay.
Because you learn more all the time, don't you? You were lucky it hurts, but unfortunately, you do have to roll for stress.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with the green one.
With great knowledge comes, oh shit.
That's a 4.
Up it goes by 1. So
Okay.
now that the bees are on Tony, Kate, Georgi has rolled towards you. What do you want to do?
So he's currently as safe as can be, right?
Yeah. He's
At least out
outside the
of harm's
pentacle.
way. I was thinking of marking my last piece of gear as flashbangs.
Oh,
Because
right.
I mean, at the very least, this dude can summon bees, which seem to be taking all of us out. So I don't want him to do anything else. So I think I'm gonna try and stun him with flashbang.
Okay. And let's hope that Jocko's Navy SEAL training means he's not taken out at the same time, because it is an area effect.
Right.
Okay. So
yeah.
go ahead. So
Flash out.
now a flashbang is an ordinary weapon, so I'll give you expertise. Stress if you want it. No one's putting you at risk, so it's just your dice, not theirs.
I'll take the stress. I still got a bit to spare.
Okay. This is what I like. 4. Bang. And the ringmaster loses his concentration. Tony, the bees go. Jocko, you are closest to the ringmaster. What do you do?
Okay, so Jocko is at 5 stress. So do I have to roll a 6 for stress to go up, or even if it's just the highest dice, it goes up?
If you use the stress dice and it's the highest, it will go up automatically. If you roll any 6, there's a risk of it going up. If there is a way that you can sneak secretly from the horror into this moment.
Yeah. I don't know, because I've already said something about the anger, right? Anchor.
You could invoke her again and put her in the wind. She could disappear off the street today.
Oh my God. I already did the once per session. I don't think there's time. There's time. You know what I mean? He's
You could abuse me. You could say we could have done this better. You fucked this up, and yell at me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Because we're on comms. I'll be like, God
Fucking...
damn it, Bodie.
So
you and
go
your
on.
God.
Out of the bees before they go.
He starts saying like MI5 are a load of crap. What kind of organization is this? The criminals are more dependable.
No wonder they threw you out. Okay, yeah, stress goes down by 1. Do that first. And then roll a d6 and let's see what happens.
And this is for just
any old d6.
Gotcha. Yeah. 6.
6. 4+ and they're an operator. Your words hit them really hard. They roll for stress. I'll come back to that one.
Serves you right, Bodie.
And on a 6, it was really worth it. Reduce stress by an extra 1.
Oh, God. Oh, that felt good. Oh.
So I'll come to Bodie last. Let's come to Jocko. You're up close and personal with the ringmaster. He's stunned. What do you do?
Okay, what I'm thinking is Jocko wants information. Right?
Okay.
So I'm thinking 2 things. Jocko wants he is calmer now, though. So he wants to put his
Look, all you need to tell me is kill or subdue.
I'm thinking subdue.
Subdue, because we'll deal with any information you can get from him in the next session. That might be your next lead.
Okay, but if I kill him, we don't get any information.
Exactly.
Right?
So subdue the ringmaster. Roll with expertise. Stress if you want it. No failure dice because he's stunned this round. Go for it.
5.
5. Simple success. You put him down. Bodie.
That's how you do it, Bodie.
Bodie, roll for stress.
Oh no, am I going to push Bodie?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, that's equal to. We'll take the 6. But I tell you what, because Bodie's only here for 1 session, do you want to assume that was a 6 you just rolled and you crack, or do you want to stay compos mentis?
No. What I thought was maybe there's like a brief, flashback to when I was firing at the cultists. Some bees landed on my other arm and crawled up, and then my eyes slightly went black. and now I'm walking towards Kate with a gun. But I'm in zombie mode. I'm not fully quick. I'm just, yeah.
Okay, so let's play that moment then, if you want to. Or do you want to crack or not?
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not running. I'm just slowly going out. So they would have it.
No, you get to describe how you and so the eyes go black, the gun comes up, and he just takes a step towards you, Kate. What do you do when Bodie does this?
I'm probably just surprised. I'm like, Bodie, what are you doing?
So let's have you try to talk him down.
We got him, Bodie. Put the gun down. Everything's fine. We did it. We saved the contact. It's okay.
So let's have you roll with expertise, because you are a charming individual. If anyone's tone of voice can bring him down, it's yours. Stress if you want it.
Yes, let's do stress. I don't like having guns pointed at me. I think very few people do.
Oh, look at that,
yeah.
A pair of sixes. And suddenly Bodie shakes his head and the bees fly out the tent as his eyes just come back. And there's kind of, look at the gun, look at Kate. And that, I think, is where we close this episode. Yeah. Because you have made it through the labyrinth. And my last one was that there is a potent foe. There's a supernatural threat on site at a level above what the briefing suggested, because he was more than just an occultist. There was more going on with him. So, did you succeed in your operational objective? Did you find the Russian?
Yes.
Yes.
We did.
So let's do a very swift debrief. If I take you to the other rules, bottom left, turning down the heat. Did the team achieve the stated objective of the operation? Yes, you did. Did the team neutralize a significant member of the conspiracy or a beast? Yes, you did. So for each yes, I will reduce the heat by 1. So heat has gone down by 2. Because you succeeded, each of you reduces stress by 1. And that is where we will leave it for today. Next time, we'll deal with anything you want to do to vent your stress between operations, and we'll see where Operation 2 takes us. Yeah? I'm going to stop the recording now, so wave bye-bye to the internet.
The internet?